welcome to my channel. I am Blue Lotus Vibes, and on today it is Tip Tuesday, but I'm gonna do something a little different today, y'all. So my daughter kind of challenged me to make something for her. I had made it for her before, but she wanted to kind of challenge me to do it again. So y'all stay tuned and y'all see what I'm talking about. Okay, y'all, so this is the challenge. Last year, I made my daughter this cup. And yes, y'all might see some unsavory words, but guess what? Don't look at them then if it bothers you a little bit. I just made this cup for her. And yes, it is my 18-year-old daughter, so don't nobody come for me in the chat, okay? Y'all know how y'all do when people comments. Don't do it. But this is the cup I made for her last year. And she challenged me to make another one this year. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you the supplies you're going to need. I'm going to show you what you're going to need to do. I'm going to also give you some tips. So come along with me on this journey. Okay, now that being said, I'm going to show you all the supplies. So you want to start off with, of course, a tumbler. So I have a tumbler right here. And we will unbox this in a few. To wipe that tumbler off, you're going to need a microfiber cloth. Or, let me show you a couple of other things you can do. You can get some rubbing alcohol, which I have on my stand. Let me grab some. Okay, y'all. Miss Nita won't prepare for this part. You can use some 90% rubbing alcohol. Of course, I put mine in a spray bottle. And you can also take paper towels along with that and wipe off your cup. If you don't have paper towels, some people use coffee filters, or you can use something else. Now, what you can use something else, what I mean by use something else, you can use a hand rag. You can use any type of soft cloth. Anything that you can improvise to use to make sure that you get all of the oil, all of the fingerprints and different things off of the item that you're going to sublimate on, you want to use it. Okay, so we got our cup. We're going to wipe our cup down. The next thing before we go any further is we're going to have ink. Now, what I'm using is a 2800, which is a Epson EcoTank printer. All I did was, when I first got it, I didn't put any ink in there. You're going to put sublimation ink in there in the place of it. So this is my Hippo sublimation ink. And yes, the colors are vibrant and vivid and bright, as it says. So you have your 4 different colors in there, which it comes with black, cyan, magenta, and of course your yellow. Now, in order to do all of that, of course we're going to have our image. But what I do in order to put that on whatever item I'm going to put it on, we got the ink in the printer. Next, we're going to have sublimation paper. So this is my sublimation paper. And this is 8 by 5 by 14. Now, A-sub paper comes in different sizes. The different sizes are on the back, as well as telling you what's your temperature, your time, and your pressure for doing sublimation with this paper. Once we have all of that, we're going to need tape. So what I did was, because I normally use this tape right here, this brown tape, and it was getting to the point where that brown tape wasn't doing so good. So I got blue. I got the blue tape because it's going to hold better. I got this from Amazon as well. I just got it yesterday. It just came in. This one right here, it comes in a box like this. It has 4 rolls this size of the blue sublimation tape. It is heat resistant tape. You're gonna need heat resistant tape. Now, being that we're doing a tumbler, what I use for the outside to wrap, once we wrap the paper around our tumbler, we're gonna wrap some butcher paper. So here goes my box of butcher paper. You can also use parchment paper. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to take some tape. I do anyway, because I like to make sure that I tape the top, the middle, and the bottom of the sublimation paper completely around the tumbler. And I'm going to show you how I do that. You might want a weeding tool. This is my weeding tool right here. It's like a pen. You're also going to need some scissors because you're going to cut off any of the excess paper that's around that you do not need, because you do not want that on your tumbler. So you definitely want to cut that out. Now, what I do is, if you don't have a nice surface that you can put that on, because it's going to be extremely hot. So I have a surface to put that on. You're going to need some gloves, some heat-resistant gloves as well. And you're going to also need either a tumbler press. You can use a Cricut mug press. You have so many different varieties of elements that you can use to get your tumbler to where you need it to be supplemented. Whatever you use, you have to make sure you're going to heat it anywhere from, I want to say, maybe about 350 to 380. Because you need for all of the gases that is in this ink to adhere to the item, which is our tumbler. You want that to adhere completely to the tumbler. So I have that. We have this. We have everything else we need. So now I'm going to take you to my computer and show you how I came up with my image. Because like I said, my daughter did challenge me, and I think I got her this time. Okay, now we are at the computer. I'm going to show you what I did. So I went to Etsy, and I downloaded a template. The template came in like this. If I can move it over. Silhouette been acting kind of silly and crazy. But anyway, I bought this template off of Etsy. It's a couple of dollars. And I'm going to blow this up so you can see it. So what I did was I went in and I actually went into each one of these parts. And if I could get it to be still, then we can look at it. Okay, I went in and I took all of these pieces apart. And I also went into Etsy and I bought a background. And let me check and go down so we can look at the background that I bought. So we have that. I'm going to go ahead and delete that because that's acting up. That's acting ugly. So then we went in and I got this background right here. And I did all of that to create this one right here. So this is what my template is looking like now. So I had to each one of those pieces that I showed you, I had to go in. What I did was I went into Canva and I took this piece off. And let me make this bigger so y'all can see even more. I took the top piece off. I took each one of these red sections off. I had to actually go in and write it in the color I wanted it to be in, which was white. So I had to write these words, these words, these words, and these words. Then, because I am using this little fella right here, what I did was I went in and I AI generated through Bing to get him. So once I got him and I got this background, then I went in and I added pieces out of Canva. So I had to add that piece out of Canva, that piece out of Canva. And if you can see up here, I went in and I got a knife with a rose and some like splatter of blood, and then I gave it an outline. Once I gave it an outline, and if you seen on the template that I showed you at first, it was nothing right here. So I went in and I made my own design. I put the little hand on here and then I put Be Gone. So each one of these white pieces right here, I had to actually go in and create words that I wanted to go in there. I put the barcode at the bottom, and I also put on here may cause laughter. So after generating and creating all of that, it is now ready for me to download and actually take and make it into a template to put on my daughter's cup. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one as well. And I'm going to slide over here because I have the template already ready to go. It is already turned to the side. Now, another thing you want to make sure you do, and I forgot to tell you, let me go ahead and pull it out so you will know exactly what I am speaking on. And that is a measuring tape. You want to make sure that you measure your tumblers. All tumblers are different. So you want to get a measuring tape. Now I have the actual tumbler tape that you can measure your tumbler with. And I got mine off of Temu. So this is how it is looking. This is the actual tape. And you would take and just wrap it. You go in. You put it through here. And you actually go and you wrap it. Let me get a tumbler so y'all can see. You will actually take the tumbler, put it in here like this. Make sure I'm putting it in here right. So you take it through here. And you're going to take and pull it. So whatever comes up in your box right here will let you know exactly how much it needs to be. And this one is saying 9, but being that I wrap mine completely, I always give it a little bit more room on there. So by this one saying 9 exactly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this. I'm going to unlock this. And I normally do 9.5, but what I will do is I will take it down because it's actually, like I said, it is actually at 9 right here. Well, we're going to do 9.2. Not going to go that far down. Let's do 9.3 because I like to have a little extra room so that I can cut it off. So we'll hit enter on that. And then you want to also take your measuring tape and you want to go the length of it. Okay, so I would take this like this, and I would go down, and that one's measuring pretty far. Let me go here with a regular tape so that you can see if you do not have that one, you can also use a regular one. So we're gonna take that from the top. Do not measure the cup because your lid. You will not have your lid on when you get ready to sublimate on this. So do not start at the lid. And we're going to simply just go down. And this one is measuring at 8. But like I said, I like to give it a little bit more room. So we're going to do 9.3, which is our width. And our height, we're going to do 8.3. I'm going to go ahead and lock this in right here. Okay, now, remember I said you want to make sure you use sublimatable paper. Okay, so now we have our paper in our printer, which is a 2800 equal tank printer. It has our sublimatable ink in it already. I'm going to go over here to my first panel, which says File. I'm going to hit on that. I'm going to come down here to the word Print. Now, in me hitting print, I have to wait for it to come up. Let me hit it again. There we go. So it's going to show me a preview of how my image is. A lot of times I just like to go down and check and make sure that my image is completely within my paper. Now remember our paper, that's another thing you want to do. Check and make sure that your width and your length is right. Okay, this is 8 by 5 paper, which is the width, and the height is 14. So I had all of that completely right. I'm going to take and move that off the screen. I'm going to hit the word print. It's going to bring me up that. I'm going to move that out the way. Now I'm going to go to preference. And it's going to take me to this screen. I don't know why. I think I'm on the wrong printer. And I am. Okay, let me go to find the right printer. You want to find and make sure the printer that you have on and that you have ready to go is the right one. So I'm going to say 2800. And I'm going to go to preference. I'm going to always make sure I have this side panel so I can look at the bottom and make sure the word mirror image is turned on, because we're doing sublimation, so you want to make sure you turn it over, and it's going to go facing the actual tumbler. So that is turned on. I have to make sure my paper is right. We're going to go ahead and pull down this. I'm going to go to 8. Okay, let me find it. Okay, this is mine. It says legal right here, 8.5 by 14. We're going to hit that. Okay, it is on. We're going to say okay. Okay, now we're going to go over to the word print. And now it will print for us. Okay, now our template has completely been printed out for us. This is what our template is looking like. But before we actually do that, I like to let it sit and kind of dry on its own for a little bit. So we're going to put this back over here and let it sit out where the printer is. And before I get started, I like to go ahead and prep my cup and to actually get everything set up. And this also is my tumbler press that I will be using. Like I said, there are so many different tumbler presses on the market. You have to use which one you feel is best and something that you will be able to use for yourself. So let me get everything together and we will move on. Okay, that's another thing I wanted to show y'all before we actually pull the tumbler out and I prep it. This is also something good for like if you have hand problems, and I will show you how you can wrap it around, and then I will show you what I also use to hold these two pieces together. So you're going to see all of that. Remember, you're going to need your heat resistant tape. We're going to need our actual scissors to cut that down, and remember I use the blue tape. So I'm going to show you how I always do to set up pretty much to get, you know, to do my tumbler. I'm going to use that right there. And I'm just going to cut off my strips. So I know I'm going to need 3 because I'm going to need 1 for the top, 1 for the middle, and 1 for the bottom. I'm going to already pull these off, so I will pretty much have them to go. I'm going to do just like that. And this is my 3rd strip right here. I'm going to take and pull that, put that right there. And that should be pretty much good. Okay, now I don't need this anymore, so I'm going to take and move that out of the way. Okay, we have that tape. I'm going to go ahead and roll it up so I have it ready, and this automatically cuts the tape for you. I love that holder. We have our scissors. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and wipe. Oh, another thing I wanted to tell you as I'm telling you different tips for Tip Tuesday. Another thing a lot of people do if they don't have alcohol, if they don't have microfiber rag, a lot of people take a lint roller and they will take and go each spot on the tumbler as well. So you basically use whatever you have that will work for you. I'm going to go ahead, and don't forget your heat resistant gloves as well. I'm gonna go ahead and take this out of the box, and we're gonna get started. Now this is how this comes in a box. Even though it is wrapped in a plastic that's inside of a box, I still want to go ahead and take and wipe this off. Remember, you don't need your top. A lot of times what I do is I will take the top like this, put it on here like that, and just take and pull it off like that. Take and wrap it, put it back in the box, and put it to the side. And a lot of times the reason why I do that is because I have had a situation wherein I had like 3 and 4 tumblers out and I was making them. And when I did went to go put the tops on, I noticed that the tops were not fitting on the cups properly. So I was like, okay, did I mix them up? I would, you know, you would think that they were the same, so it shouldn't be mixed up. But they were. So I'm going to take and go in here and wipe this off like this real good. And then I'm going to take and sit this right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull our template over here, our wrap that we're going to put on the cup. I'm going to take and turn it around like this. And basically what we are going to do now is we're going to go in here and make sure that it's going to fit on our cup. Being that our cup is facing this way, I'm just going to take and pull it down just like this. I'm going to pick that up because I don't want to touch the cup too much. And we're going to go around like this. And I'm going to take and pull this up right here. And I'm going to move this little mechanism and put it right there. So now what I want to do is I'm basically looking top to bottom to make sure that my image will pretty much fit on my cup. I'm going to move it up a tad bit because I want the bottom. I want the bottom of that paper to be at the bottom of my tumbler. Okay, I'm going to scoot it down a little bit. And now I know that the top part of this will be on here. So we're going to take and do that like that. I want that to completely wrap around and meet each other. So I'm holding that like that. I know I have to scoot this down some because you want all of these words that I have down here, you want them to be completely on the tumbler as well. So I'm just going to basically center everything. Now I know that's going to be completely on there. Okay, and now I want to see how this is going to meet. And this is going to meet pretty much. Okay, so I'm going to look through there. As you can see, I'm going to look through there and see pretty much how they're going to meet up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, put my hand back in there, move that out of the way, and I'm going to cut. Now there's plenty of ways you can cut. If you know that you're pretty good at cutting straight down with no problem, then you can do it like that. But I'm going to show you one of my cutters that I use as well. Okay, so like I said, this is Tip Tuesday, so I'm going to show you different ways you can do this. Now, if you know that you're good with a knife, you can, in fact, use an X-Acto knife. And you would simply take also a ruler, and you would just take and you would go along and you would cut this straight like that. Now, if you didn't want to use a ruler and you didn't want to use an X-Acto knife, then you could use this. This is a paper cutter, and you can just simply take this paper cutter like I'm about to do, or you could use scissors. But we're going to put the scissors out the way. I'm going to take and put this over here because I want to make sure I have enough room. We don't want that to stick. I want to make sure I have enough room so that I can cut this straight on. And I can show y'all. So you want to take just like this, open it up, and I know I want it to be right here at that line. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to pretty much put it on my line. I'm going to use it like that. You got to make sure wherever you want your cut line to be, because it's going to be right through that middle piece. So we're going to take and go like that. I'm going to push that down, and I want it right there. So I'm going to take and go just like this, and I'm going to pull it straight down. Now we're going to open that up, and there's your cut right there, like that. Every now and then, you do have to take like a sharp item or either a pointed item and go in the middle of here, because I'm going to show you, I don't know if you can see it, but in this middle piece right here, it'd be a lot of paper, you know, like the little pieces of the paper fiber that might wear off. So what I do every now and then is I take something like an X-Acto knife, and I simply go in, being careful, and I take and go in just like this. And this allows me to catch, as you can see, it's about to come out on the table. Let me move this so y'all can see it as it comes out of there. And you're going to take and go just like that all the way to the edge. And as you can see, paper comes straight out. And a lot of times that might make your cut not be straight enough as it needs to be. I'm going to go in there one more time. And I'm going to simply pull out all of the trash that's in there. You can use something like a credit card too if you want to, because I think, you know, if it's a thin one, it will pretty much go in there. And then sometimes you can just take and blow and just get out any of the extra paper that you might have in there. And just like that, we got that out the way. Now one of these sides, I am going to let it be close enough right here so that when I wrap it around, it will fit completely on there and it will give me a nice finish to my back. Now this one right here, I'm going to take and slide that back up, and I'm going to go completely into this side because I already have just a little small little margin of a piece that is over there. So we're going to pick this up. I'm going to move it because remember I said you have to have it right there in the middle piece. And I'm going to measure and make sure this is where I want it at. I don't want to cut any words off, so I want to make sure I'm completely on the spot I needed to be. Okay, now that is completely at the edge, as you can see. This one gave me a little small little margin of a piece. Now we're going to take and throw this away. We're going to bring our tumbler over here and we're going to get set up, and we're going to actually take and wrap this. Remember that we did already prep the tumbler. That is why I made sure I left it on this cloth so that it would not get handled with your hands too much and it wind up getting dirt or residue on it. Okay, we got our 3 strips of tape ready. We have our heat resistant tape ready right here. We're going to take our template. We're going to go down like this. Now I'm going to pick it up. And I'm going to basically make sure we are centered pretty good. You can also cut the bottom piece off. I just left mine on. But you can cut all of that off if you would like. Now, I definitely want to make sure that the little spray piece that's on the top, that gets completely on my cup. And we're going to go in like this. I'm trying to see the side that I did leave the line on, which is on that way. Over that side I meant. We're going to take and go in just like this. I'm going to make sure I got it right. Make sure I got it completely all the way down, like that. And we're going to go like this. And we're going to go like this. Now I'm trying to make sure it wraps completely around, and it does. Need to push it down some more because I need to make sure it gets completely all the way to the bottom of my design. Okay, I am satisfied with that. I'm going to take and do like this. And make sure that I bring it together real good. Okay, we're going to take and do like that. And bring it around like this. Now, this is where the thing, the contraction, whatever you might want to call it, comes in handy to help you pretty much. And I'm just a little making sure everything is on here, y'all. Okay, there we go. Like that. Now, I'm going to show you how I use the contraction to hold this for me. It's like an extra hand. So I have my rubber band. I have the contraction. I'm going to take and put this like this. This will squeeze my actual template together so that when I use my tape to put it on, this is an extra hand. And I'm just making sure it's lined up and it's not crooked. So once I'm satisfied with that, then we will move on and start taping. Okay, making sure it's even because I don't want it to be off-centered. Okay. I want to make sure it's lined up completely. And I think we are lined up completely. Okay, this is when we take our rubber band. We're going to go around the handle piece and just pretty much want to wrap it around to make sure that it holds in like a pair of hands for you. Now also this has little pieces so it can hold like that, hold like that, hold like this. So however you need to turn it to work out for you, you can do that. And I'm just making sure everything is still lined up. Okay, and now we're going to go in with our tape. And you simply want to start at the top or whichever end you want to do. And we're going to put the tape on. I always take and do mine like that. And we're just going to keep taping. You want to make sure you tape all of this completely down. You also want to make sure that your image is pulled tight enough because you don't want it sagging because it will not sublimate completely as you need it to. We're just going to keep going all the way down completely on here. And then I'm going to take and slide this down as well so that, or either slide it up. I'm going to hold this tight, this part tight, and I'm just going to simply take and slide this up some. So that way it will keep it tight for me and I can go ahead and finish putting my tape on. Okay, we're going to turn that around like this. And I'm going to hold it like that. Okay, cool. And I'm trying to turn it so y'all can see as well. I'm going to go right here. Making sure my piece that I left the little white end on, I'm making sure that that is on top and not actually under the other piece that I've cut everything completely off. And just like this, I'm just trying to make sure my tape is completely down. I'm going to show you another thing I do once I have all of my tape in position on the back end of here. I'm going to show you what I do to make sure my tape is completely down. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put some more down here. Just like that. And now I'm completely at the end. So this is what it's looking like. We're completely taped at the top and we're completely taped at the bottom. Now I'm going to take the contraption off. I'm going to take and make sure I have my rubber band still on there. And of course I know a piece of it did come up. So all I got to do is just take and move that down like that. And we're done. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an end of like a pen or something. Let me find a pen. You can use a pen. You can use a card. Whichever one you want to do. Or even just your finger. The same thing right here where you have the tape at the seam. I'm going to just go across it. And I'm going to completely make sure it is completely all the way down. Okay, now that I'm satisfied with that, I'm going to make sure no gaps are in there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it in my butcher paper. Just checking to make sure everything okay. But before I wrap it in the butcher paper, I always like to see how this end is out here on each end. I'm just going to take and simply mash down so that I can get the paper to actually fold into the cup. So as that paper folds into the cup, it actually takes and do like a seal for me. I'm going to do the same thing with the top of the paper, making sure everything is completely lined up like it needs to be. And I'm just going to simply go and turn it around as I go. Now see how I have made that rim right there? So when I go to put my butcher paper on, I'm going to wrap that, and I'm also going to be able to put my tape, and everything will come out exactly how I want it to be. Okay, it is counting down. We are now a few seconds off from how I'm going to show you how I take and flip it and put it back in there. Of course, I have to push the green button as soon as it rings off. So we're going to do like that. And it, as you can see, it already started counting. I had it pretty tight, so we're just going to flip it from the front to the back. Now I am going to do that twice, and as you can see, you see that smoke, that is gas that's being released from the sublimatable ink. Okay, now we are almost at the end. I'm going to show you how I make sure that my top and my bottom get heat as well, because being that they're off on the sides, you want to make sure that they're getting heat as well. So what I do is I pull this out. This is my top. I'm going to simply just take just the top piece. I'm going to pull that back down like that. And then, of course, the counter is already counting down. Then we're going to take and flip it, and we're going to do the back as well. So it is almost finished. It is counting down, as you can see, pretty fast. And another thing, if you want to have like a face mask on, then, you know, if you're very sensitive to smells and different things like that, like I said, because there is actually ink gases that does let off from the sublimatable ink. And then we're going to take the back part. We're going to go back in here as well. We're going to do like that. We're going to pull down. We're going to push our button. And just like that, it should start counting down once the heat comes back up. Mine is pretty good. Like I said, I've had this for quite some time. So I have it like at 360, 370. And it will go for 40 seconds. And then we will be ready to look and see how it came out. Okay, our tumbler is about to finish. It is finished. I'm going to simply just take and cut it off. I'm going to go ahead and take that out of there. And remember, you want to have your gloves on. I'm going to put the glove on the other hand. And I'm just going to simply move this over here out of our way. Now, what I like to do is I also like to take and rub this to kind of cool it off. Help it out a little bit. Now, take and rub this like this. You might want a pair of scissors to get all of this tape off. So we will bring out our scissors. Okay, I got a pair right there. And I just want to take and help it cool off a little bit. I'll cool that off. Okay, now I'm going to take and do like this. And it depends on the tolerance of your hands, whether you can take one glove off, or you just might need two. You might even need two pairs. But a lot of times you can tell if your item has adhered also real good, is you can see the ink actually coming through the paper. And that pretty much is like a tattletale to let you know that the ink did actually go through. We're going to take and cut down like this. We're going to pull our paper off. I'm going to go in just like this and pull our paper off. Now, I pretty much have done this for a while, so I know I can take one of these gloves off, because you pretty much have to know what your tolerance is as far as whether you can take and hold that heat or not, because it is extremely hot. So you wanna don't play with it. It will get to you. Like I said, I actually seen that ink coming through our butcher paper, but as you can see through the actual sublimation paper itself, we can see our design in it. I'm gonna hold it up so you can see. So you can actually see our design in it. This is like a tattletale to let me know it went through pretty much, pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and start revealing. As you can see, that is where I had the spray thing at. I'm gonna keep going around. We're gonna keep pulling down. We're gonna pull our middle piece off. And remember, I went all the way to the end. I did take and pull it all the way to the end. And as you can see, this is what the tumbler is looking like. This is the front of it. This is the side of it. And this is the back of it. And as you can see, I went all the way down, and we do have our scan bar on there. So y'all comment and tell me how I did. I think I did pretty good. I think I met the challenge of what my daughter wanted me to do, and that was to create my own tumbler for her. Now, if you are interested in actually purchasing this template, you can drop down in my bio, and you will see my actual email, and you can just email me and let me know if you would like for me to either make this for you or actually take and give you the template. You know, it will be a fee, and if you want me to make it for you, it will be a fee as far as shipping and handling. So this is what we have gotten up to today on Tip Tuesday, and I appreciate everybody coming in, hitting the like button, and joining me today. And until next time, either on a live, either on a video, or in these YouTube streets, y'all be safe.